What is up, gang? Uncle Travis coming to you from the Mount Juliet. Actually, no, we're in Lebanon today. We stopped at Mount Juliet to get some parts this morning, so I'm a little confused. Obviously, the weather has cooled down. I don't have a death wish. Nice crisp day here in Middle Tennessee. We're enjoying this weather. We're installing a 14 by 14 foot pond today for a new homeowner to the area. They actually added an extra foot of depth to the pond, and there's a reason for that. They're actually from the Chicagoland area, home of Aquascape, and they just wanted to hedge their bets on their fish to have that extra depth for fish hibernation, which not really hibernation in the winter, but when the fish overwinter, they go down to the bottom, and they just wanted to be sure they had an extra foot of depth down there at the bottom to survive the winter. Let's take a look at what we got going on over here. Montana's doing our final excavation. We're pulling our 3 feet of depth from the middle of the patio here. What we want, not to bore you with too much math, we want 2 inches to allow for our gravel, and then 36 inches of depth for our water. And then I want a gap between the top of the patio and the top of the water of about 4 inches. That's giving us about 40 to 41 inches, maybe 42, give us some room to play with. 42 inches of initial excavation. We started yesterday, like we often do, excavating for the skimmer, and we got about 2 feet down and we hit a mysterious groundwater. We still don't know where it was coming from. We never hit a drain, we never hit irrigation, we never hit plumbing. It was just water dumping out from underneath the patio. Best we can guess is when they put in the drains off of the downspouts a couple years ago when they built the house, they dumped the water into the driveway gravel that they use as a paver base underneath the patio as sort of a leach bed. Not a terrible idea, just terrified us when we were digging. Right now we're just gonna put in a passive drain to see what happens while we're working, and worst case scenario we'll have to put in a French drain or something here. So I'll hop down here and kind of show you what we're doing. But first I want to show you what we're going to use to do that. This is our old friend, industrial peanut wrapped ADS. You've seen us use this a million times on drainage jobs and French drains going down through people's yards. It'll work just as well in the bottom of our pond. Let's take a look. As we were doing our excavation further around, we had some groundwater coming in from over there as well. You could probably see Montana started a trench over there that I half filled in when I jumped down in the pond. Sorry about that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start our French drain over there and run it all along the edge of the pond, below the bottom surface of the pond, so that any water that comes in immediately runs into that low area. We've got a trench that goes from all the way over there, all the way around, and daylight's out at the low spot in the yard back here. And that has our 1 inch of fall over 10 feet, so that any water that gets picked up by this pipe runs immediately into the pipe and then down and out and away from our pond, so we don't have any bubbles in our liner. We don't have our skimmer floating up and causing any damage to the liner or the faceplate there. It did add some extra cost to the homeowner, which is always a kick in the butt, but I would much rather have that conversation and have a little extra cost than to have the water feature ruined or have to come back and rebuild it and then do it, at a later date. Got all the time in the world to do it right the first time, right? So this is where we're gonna daylight the end of the run of the French drain. As you can maybe not tell, this is still a good foot and some change deep. So we won't be able to have it daylight horizontally. So we're gonna have to put in a pop-up, and you've seen us use those before. In fact, there is a link down at the bottom for you to check out just a straight French drainage video, not applied to a pond like this. We'll come down here as far as the pipe will allow us, and we'll put that guy in somewhere down here, and then we'll backfill around it. So anytime any groundwater gets in there, it's just gonna, if there's excess, it's just gonna pop up and run out. So looking forward to getting that done here in the next hour or so, and then starting properly on the pond. Stay tuned.
Why 2 of them?
We're doing 2 of them basically right there. Maybe one more past here because that's where the bulk of the water came through. You see it in the video, it's pretty excessive. I just want to give the water as much open space to get in and out away from the pond as possible. So we'll do 2 through here and then probably do up the one down there down to the pop-up. Just a little extra space to get water out. When we got here yesterday, I noticed over here on the wall, they had some really cool pieces of driftwood and deadfall. This is a cedar stump. It looks to be nice and bleached and aged. She said it came from just a wooded area, but it looks pretty good to me. This looks to be the cut off stump of a crepe myrtle, but it still has some really cool features, and I want to use this in the water feature somewhere. We don't want to get this underwater so it leaches its tannins into the water. So we'll put this maybe right at the surface or just above, maybe even in the landscape berm. Not sure yet. She did have one request that we use this one upside down. She likes that pokey look, and I don't disagree with her. I think it looks pretty cool. We are going to put a fish cave in here. I'm pretty excited about that. We'll probably be getting that guy in close to first thing tomorrow. Probably getting the waterfall done probably later next week. So stay tuned for what's coming up next. See you soon. What is up, gang? I want you to listen to something real quick. If you can hear that. That's the sound of dry hands. That means we've been moving rocks all week. A little more rocks than we normally would because, as we said earlier, this is a 3-foot deep pond instead of the normal 2 feet that we normally do. No place better to start, I think, than the destination stone. We wanted to make it transition right off of the existing patio, and it does just that, doesn't it? There it is. We were told that there's going to be some kids or some grandkids around, so we wanted to make it kid-friendly. And, you know, I wouldn't, with my own personal weight, I wouldn't be out here doing jumping jacks, but it's cantilevered, as we say. You know, the bravest of kids can jump off into this because it's an extra foot deep. Adults, I would not suggest doing that, but, you know, free will and all that. The other thing is the fish cave came in nicely. It's a nice sister piece to this because it's right over there. It's a little bit bigger, but it's relatively the same shape, relatively the same size, same color, and just a couple of feet down in the water. They did have this awesome piece of cedar. It's not integral. It's not doing anything other than just sitting here and looking cool. Comes right out. So if they decided they wanted to move it or take it out or do something else with it, hang Christmas ornaments on it, they can. I just thought it was a nice little accent right here in the stream to one of the coolest weir stones that Montana's picked in a minute. It's got its own kind of built-in little framer right here. Got some nice striations right here. Comes down, got a little bit of a hug, but then it kicks straight out. Hugs right here. Really good noise up there on the sitting area in the patio. And the homeowner's gonna be having another patio hardscape installed over here eventually. So you've got 2 spots to view this waterfall. Up here from the bedroom and the home office. And then you can see and hear this from right over there. Same with that guy over there. You can also view it and hear it from over there. Another cool piece of driftwood they had was this cut off stump of cedar. We did our best to keep it out of the water because we don't want this leaching any tannins or anything in. It does have its toes in the water, not a big deal. Just want to keep an eye on it to make sure the water doesn't start to turn brown. I just thought it had really cool shapes and, you know, looked like somebody had come through to open up a stream and, you know, cut a tree down. Got the landscape plants in behind us. They came in really nicely here toward the end of the season. And got it all mulched out, dropping some grass seed, and we're about to call this one good. All right, gang, there you have it. 36-inch deep pond in the ground out in the Lebanon area. Took us a little bit longer. If you remember, we had some drainage issues, and we did go an extra foot deeper, so that just adds more time. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. More importantly, the homeowner's happy with how it turned out. So we're gonna get going. What you can do. That was Steve. He let me wear his glasses because I forgot mine and he didn't want me squinting. What you can do for us in the meantime, like, follow, share, subscribe, leave us a comment in the comments section. Let us know what you think about the 36-inch depth and where you want your 36-inch deep pond in your backyard. In the meantime, Uncle Trav, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.